I now call to order the January 28th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting, time being 6:30 PM. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, make it a roll call, please.
Trustee Cannon. Trustee Cannon.
Here.
Trustee Daly.
Present.
Trustee Moyer.
Here.
Trustee Teets.
Here.
Trustee Wiegand.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mason.
Here.
Mayor Shosse.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the agenda this evening? No. Are there any conflicts of interest with the agenda this evening? No. Now is the time for public comment. Members of the public wishing to speak will be given 3 minutes to speak on non-agenda items. Please state your name for the record. Public comment. All right, I will now recess the regular meeting and open up the liquor licensing or liquor license authority board, time being 6:31 PM. Clerk, make it a roll call, please.
Trustee Cannon.
Here.
Trustee Daly.
Present.
Trustee Moyer.
Here.
Trustee Teets.
Here.
Trustee Wiegand.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mason.
Here.
Mayor Shosse.
Here.
Mayor, there's a quorum for the liquor license authority.
Thank you. Ms. Clerk, will you please read the title for item C1?
Family Dollar number 2020-2901, a 2025 liquor license renewal and modification of premise.
Thank you. And then Hannah Hill, the town clerk, will present on this item.
Thank you, Mayor. Before the authority tonight, you have a renewal for Family Dollar, number 2901, a liquor license renewal. This is an annual renewal. Included in your packet is their application for renewal, as well as the Larimer County Sheriff's Office inspection report. The applicant is in good standing with the Secretary of State, and they are current with their sales tax license. During the renewal inspection, LCSO did note a few things on their inspection report that led to a discussion with the applicant about their diagram that they currently had, as well as where they were storing their alcohol. That did lead to the applicant submitting a modification of premise request, which is included in your packet, just to allow them a little bit more room for storage of their alcohol. Upon approval of that, we will send that to the state, and the state will update their diagram. We would update the diagram, and then LCSO would go re-inspect to make sure that the storage of the alcohol is current with their current application. That is all that I have, Mayor. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Perfect, thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Moore. Trustee Cannon?
Yeah, just one quick question. You said this is 2106. Is that it? Or 2906, excuse me. 2901, but it looks like the application is 29016. Is that just a typo?
That is correct. Yes, that
Thank
is a
you.
typo.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any comments from the public on this item? No. Do I hear a motion on this item?
I move to approve the liquor license renewal and modification of premises for Family Dollar number 29016. I second.
Ms. Clerk, make it a roll call, please.
Trustee Cannon.
Yes.
Trustee Daly.
Yes.
Trustee Moyer.
Yes.
Trustee Teets.
Yes.
Trustee Wiegand.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mason.
Yes.
Mayor Shosse.
Yes.
Mayor, that passes.
Thank you. I'll now close the Liquor License Authority Board and reopen the Board of Trustees. Regular meeting time being 6:34 PM. Ms. Clerk, will you please read the title of the items on the consent agenda?
The January 14th, 2025 meeting minutes, resolution number 4-2025, approving the CIP purchase of a Parks and Recreation maintenance truck. Resolution number 05-2025, amending the Town of Wellington fee schedule effective January 29th, 2025.
Do I hear a motion on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Ms. Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Cannon,
Yes.
trustee Daly,
Yes.
trustee Moyer,
Yes.
trustee Teets.
Yes.
Trustee Wiegand,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mason,
Yes.
Mayor Shosse.
Yes,
Mayor, that motion passes.
thank you. All right. Ms. Clerk, will you please read the title for item E1?
Ordinance number 01-2025, amending chapter 10 of the Wellington Municipal Code.
Thank you, and Mr. Dan Sapienza, the town attorney, will present on this item.
Trustees, is this microphone's not working? Hello, hello, hello?
Yep.
Okay, now it's on back, thanks. In front of you is what I consider a technical amendment to Chapter 10 of the Wellington Municipal Code. The code, under our code, there are basically two kinds of violations, civil infractions or violations of municipal code. There are criminal infractions. These come with different sentences, different potential penalties. The maximum penalty for an infraction is $1,000 and no jail time. The maximum penalty for a criminal offense under our code is $2,650 and up to a year in jail. Along with the difference in penalties for a civil infraction and a criminal violation are various procedural differences. Somebody who goes to court who's charged with a criminal violation may ask for a jury trial. They also may be appointed counsel. So there's it's important in our code to distinguish between the two and make very clear which are criminal violations, which are not. It was raised in court just recently that the section of our code which says these are civil infractions and these are criminal violations was actually missing a few items. This is probably, I would say, poor drafting and not really best practice to have two different lists like this in our code, where if we change one thing, we always have to change another. It's just a matter of as our code gets amended, one of these lists didn't get updated. So that what's in front of you is eliminating the list of non-criminal violations of the town code. So now all violations of the town code are non-criminal unless explicitly listed in the table on its subpart D. So this makes no substantive change to our practice, to our law. It does not define new items as criminal. It makes no difference in the list. It simply says, this is the list of criminal violations. Everything else is subject to the non-criminal process and potential sentence. So the plan is to bring forward, and I think we've had, it's been years in the works of some broader changes to Chapter 10, but finding the time to schedule that has been a challenge. This change was actually in the proposed changes that we discussed a while back on the changes to Chapter 10, because I'd identified this potential issue. I didn't realize that there was an actual items actually missing from the list. So this is technical change. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Trustee Moyer? Trustee Teets?
I do. Thank you for answering my questions via email. I tried to get on it right away. The only other question I had that came up when I did further reading was under section 10-1-40 under violations. It's section C. It says here that for non-criminal, they're allowing to waive such person shall not be entitled to a trial by jury. So my question in there comes in, and I would just like to seek additional clarification. When I did do additional research on this item, are we allowed to deny a trial by jury?
For a non-criminal violation, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
A jury trial and appointment of counsel is necessary under the Constitution when a possible sentence for it is incarceration. So effectively, there is no chance that a person charged with a non-criminal violation of our code, there is no chance that they will be incarcerated. Jail time is not on the table. For that reason, the courts have found that no jury trial, no appointment of counsel is appropriate.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Trustee Cannon? Okay. Any questions for the public on this item? Comments? I mean? No. Okay. Do I hear a motion on this item?
I move to approve ordinance number 01-2025, amending chapter 10 of the Wellington Municipal Code.
Second.
Ms. Clerk, may I get a roll call, please?
Trustee Cannon,
Yes.
Trustee Daly,
Yes.
Trustee Moyer,
Yes.
Trustee Teets,
Yes.
Trustee Wiegand,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mason,
Yes.
Mayor Shosse.
Yes.
Mayor, that motion passes.
Thank you. All right, on to reports. Mr. Dan Sapienza, Town Attorney, anything to report?
At the February 11th board meeting, following the regular meeting, there will be a work session dedicated to trying to wrap up the bylaws that were discussed about a month ago. At that meeting, there were a number of comments, a number of suggestions for changes. I'm going to be sending out to the board via email, kind of a red line version of it with some comments on there. I would greatly appreciate any feedback between now and the February 11th meeting. My intent is to send that out, and then I'll polish it up a little bit before it goes into the packet for the February 11th meeting. So, but in the interim, I really would appreciate any comments, questions, anything like that, so that we can make sure that that work session on February 11th is as productive as possible. But be watching your emails for that, and I should get it out in the next day or so.
Perfect, thank you. Town Administrator, Ms. Garcia,
No report tonight, thank you.
thank you. Are there any questions from the board on staff reports? Any board reports? Oh, Trustee Daly.
Yes, so with the new year and new boards, both PROS, Parks, Recreation, Open Spaces and Trails, and the Main Streets Board are undergoing a lot of training for the new year. They had a presentation for the Main Streets Board from DOLA, outlining all the parts of the program, all the resources and opportunities that are upcoming. So the entire board participated in that. I wanted to thank Trustee Moyer for sitting in for me. I had to attend via Zoom meeting, so she graciously was my person in the meeting. In addition to that, they're talking about their sign grants and other things that they have on the table right now. A lot of good things moving for Main Streets program, including their big efforts towards doing the advertising for downtown. PROS also did a retreat where they got together with new board members and old alike, had a potluck, and went over the history of PROS, just to get everybody kind of understanding what they've been doing, where they're at, and just get everybody kind of up to the same level of understanding of the history of PROS. And so that's been a really cool things for the beginning of the year, everybody getting set to have a great year for volunteering. So thank you to those boards for all your volunteering hours. I appreciate that.
Awesome, thank you. Ms. Clerk, will you please read the title for item C or G1?
For the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations and/or instructing negotiators pursuant to 24-6-4024E CRS, and for the purpose of receiving legal advice pursuant to 24-6-4024B CRS regarding matters with the North Poudre Irrigation Company, as required by CRS 24-6-402 2D.5, 2A, and 2E. The executive session proceedings will be electronically recorded, and the record will be preserved for 90 days through April 28th, 2025.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion?
Second.
Ms. Clerk, may I get a roll call, please?
Yes, and I apologize, Mayor, who was the second on that for the record?
Trustee.
Thank you. Trustee Cannon,
Yes.
Trustee Daly,
Yes.
Trustee Moyer,
Yes.
Trustee Teets.
Yes.
Trustee Wiegand.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mason,
Yes.
Mayor Shosse.
Yes,
Mayor, the motion passes.
thank you. With us going to executive session, I will ask members of the public to please exit the building.